AFL Today's round 17 wrappers here. We've covered it all, lads. What did you talk about, Leo?
Listen up, Carlton board, because I fixed the Carlton Footy Club.
Whoa.
Oh, and I talked about Jez's 700th. He kicked his 700th on the weekend, and we compare him to some of those that have done it.
That was really good fun. Check out the AFL Today Show right now. Round 17 is done and dusted, and welcome back to the AFL Today Show, brought to you by Stockhead. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy. Oh, the boys are on the couch. They're back for the Sunday wrap. We've got Marcus Bazzano, Leo Mullaly. I'm going to do them all at once. How you going, lads?
All at once, that's how I like it. Nah, feeling good. How are you feeling, Marcus?
Oh, absolutely great. Yeah, fantastic.
Not hungover.
Is that it?
Another Bombers loss. We take it as we come.
What more do you want? As a Hawks fan, Hawks win and Bombers lose. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Leo is very excited there. Make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube. Hit the notifications bell as well. It goes a long way. Follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's AFL Today across all the socials, but Facebook is Aussie Rules Today. That's for more footy content all season long. Want some more comments? We've had some comments, some good comments on the last couple of shows. We'll be replying to them on YouTube. We've been doing some social clips, Leo, that we can get a few more replies on the comments as well.
Yeah, that's it. We're all about engagement here at AFL Today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, no more messing about. Let's get into the round 17 results. Let's go to Thursday night, Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs. My beloved North Melbourne, 13 goals, 785. Western Bulldogs, 20 goals, 14, 134. It was North Centenary game, Leo, but someone spoiled that on Thursday night.
Libba. 250 games for the iconic man, and he was the best player on the ground. 27 disposals, 2 goals, 10 tackles in a game that was kind of fun. It was frenetic. It was uncontrollable. You didn't really know what to expect. And I reckon that just suited his game to perfection. I think it was his highest rated game he's ever played in his 250th.
According to your mates at Champion
According
Data.
to my mates, according to me, and I'm gospel.
You have mates?
I thought we were mates.
Sometimes.
You won't let me hold your hand on the show.
Oh, God, that's another issue. I've got to see a therapist about that, mate. Come on. But Stats Guy, there was a matchup you liked in this one that we didn't really think would work for North, but it kind of did. It kind of did.
It kind of did. You had Will Dawson coming in to play on Sam Darcy. We had a lot of injuries down at North, and Sam Darcy's come in. He had 8 1%ers, Will Dawson. Kept Darcy to 5 disposals and a goal in the first 3 quarters. Very similar to Jezza versus Ruben Jimby the other week, where we're like, Jimmy's put up a really good fight. He's got a lot of spoils on him. And then Jezza goes bang, bang, bang. Darcy just showed his elite fitness, his skills. Dawson's only played a handful of games, and he ended up with 4 goals too. But I really was surprised. You had Will Dawson, a bit taller, he's 200 centimetres, still a 10 centimetre gap to Sam Darcy, but he put up a strong effort, and that's an exciting one for North fans. But Sam Darcy showed his class. Like, to say that he had an okay game and then ended with 4, still a beast.
And another matchup I really liked in this one was Nick Larkey versus Lobb/O'Donnell.
Yes.
It was a fun matchup, and when North got that transition game going, they got Larkey out the back. That suited him to a T. And he had Lobb and O'Donnell on the ropes, I thought. But credit to the way Lobb and JOD, I'm going to call him, worked back into the game. They combined for 17 intercept possessions, and the Dogs sort of brought the pack kicking back. There wasn't that much transition from North, and I thought they really excelled with that, the big man for the Dogs down back. And one big man, you talked about Darcy, and Darcy deserves the plaudits. To kick 4 in the end is great, but Aaron Norton, he deserves some plaudits. 5 goals, and most of them when Darcy wasn't doing much. The Dogs needed someone to step up. They needed an accurate kick, and Aaron Norton says, I'm actually going to be the man. And he did it last week, and he's done it this week. Well done.
How often are you going, we're going to rely on Norton to kick a few goals and accurate? Credit to him. I hope he can continue this form, because that's a big thing for the Dogs if he can kick accurately. Yeah,
that's been a big question mark, isn't it, over the Dogs, and like how far they could actually go with Norton as a second tall, because he's typically inaccurate, but he finished with 5 goals too on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. He was great. The other one I wanted to finish off on, Libba and Bont were the first teammates of all time to both have 10 plus tackles and 2+ goals in the same game. So pretty good effort there from the two legends of the Dogs. So good on him. Yeah, of this grey, absolutely.
Yes.
And awesome for Libba in his 250th to get that big win. Next game here, let's go to Friday night footy at the MCG, the old rivalry of Carlton versus Collingwood. It wasn't really much of a rivalry, but Carlton, 8 goals, 11, 59. Collingwood, 17 goals, 13, 115. The Pies just too good, Marcus.
I think, well, after the first quarter, we were like, hold on, can Carlton somewhat make a game of this? Because they started okay. They were competitive, but it was symbolic. They were an absolute rabble after that, and it was symbolic in that first quarter when Wiedering and O'Farrell, they did the blunder. Wiedering went for the spoil, Farrell went for the chest mark, and it goes through and bounces through for a goal. Like, it's just little stuff like that. It just looks like at both ends of the ground, even in the middle, there's just no synergy right now at Princess Park for the Blues. So, and I think that margin could have been a lot worse. There were a few goals late from Carlton, and Collingwood also missed some chances. But even everything that looks like it's going right for Carlton, everything that does start going right goes wrong. And it was Zach Williams on the weekend. He was by far their most dangerous player on the ground. He kicked 3 goals, and then, of course, in typical Zach Williams fashion, gets injured and subbed out at 3/4 time with yet another injury, this time knee injury.
I feel like he's done that so many times at the Blues where he's had a good string of goals, because when he's been playing forward, he's been kicking goals a lot this year. But then he just gets in. I really feel for him because he's a superstar. He was really good at GWS, even off half back. Then he get injured. Then he's come to the Blues and he's kicking a few goals. Then he gets injured again. Like, I feel for him.
Yeah, well, I think it was, we worked out at the gym, funnily enough, how many games Zach Williams has played over the past 4 or 5 years and how much he's actually getting paid per game.
Or how much?
And I think it was around the mark of 50,000 per game.
That's what Leo's getting per show, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Oof. What are you getting?
I'm just here for the vibes.
You're not actually getting paid.
Nah.
Well, we'll cross over to a Collingwood small forward, and we can't go past Jamie Elliott without talking past Jamie Elliott. He torched McGovern. He had McGovern on the ropes, and he always had an extra few feet on him, especially on the lead. And there was a period in that third quarter where he was just having shot after shot within a 5-minute period, and I think he just kicked 3 goals out of nowhere. But he now has the most goals in his career, and there's still 7 home and away games to play. So he's on track for a big year, isn't he, Liam?
Yeah. So he's got 40 goals for the first time ever in his career. He's 32.
That really surprises me. I thought he would have done that before.
I thought so too. He's had 39 before, but not 40 or above. He's 32. I think teams need to put a bit more respect on his name. They're going, oh, he's an older guy. He's not that quick. He's still quick. McGovern's a bit older. Like, I'd be putting a young fast guy on him just to try and keep up with him on the lead, because his first burst on the lead and his hands, obviously.
Above his head, he's unreal.
So good. So I think people need to put more respect on his name for a 32-year-old, because he's unbelievable.
And another old player just getting back into the swing of things. It was Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
His first game back after what seemed like forever. I think it was 400 plus days. Wasn't it 423 days or something like that? He just looked like he never left. He had 26 disposals and had the ball on a string at some time. So that's just even more positive signs for Collingwood if there weren't already so many to name.
They didn't even need him, and now he's a beast.
And in saying that, I'm going to ask a question to each of you boys.
Ooh.
About both Collingwood and about Carlton.
God, I hope I get Collingwood.
Liam, with Collingwood, can anyone stop the Pies?
Look, I don't think in the long run, no. But the team that's going to get the closest still is Geelong. They were great against them at the G. They're the only team that's beaten them at the G, which I think is a great effort. You've obviously had the Lions are going to be up there. They've beaten them as well. But I think it has to be Geelong is the only team that can stop them. Like, just say it's grand final day. I think the experience of the Cats, they've got so many stars. But right now, they're flying. They're not going to get caught on top of the ladder. So, no one can stop the Pies.
Jeez.
And follow-up, could this be the best season, or most dominant season we've seen since 2000?
Oh, Geelong 09.
Well, Essendon only lost 1 game, and that was by a kick in the very last home and away game, and won the grand final by 10 goals.
I reckon you're a bit of recency bias there, mate.
Yeah.
Before I was born, mate. How's that recency bias?
No, I'm saying with Collingwood.
Oh, with Collingwood. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're putting up a fantastic campaign, and they've only lost 2 games. They had the blunder in opening round, and then obviously they could have won against Geelong.
Yeah, well, they've had the same record as their 2023 through 15 games. So... I don't know. It was 2023 the best season ever. I don't know.
They're on track for the premiership as well. Maybe. And now, Leo, how do we fix Carlton? It's the question everyone wants to know. Everyone wants answered. How do we fix them?
Carlton board, list it up. This is what you got to do.
Chuck the hat on.
Look, I don't even know if Voss is the right man. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, no.
But when you've got John Longmire out there and you've got Adam Simpson out there, do you just chuck a sneaky phone call? 2 very, very good coaches who know how to get it done in important moments. But I think on field for Carlton, there's one thing they really lack, and that's elite ball users.
Yes.
And I think they have the star talent, but their game plan is very basic. It's win the contested ball, get it forward, play a territory game. But the kick inside 50 to these forwards is just nowhere near AFL standard. They need to recruit some elite kicks. I think Jagger Smith coming back next season, obviously injured his ACL. He's a great kick, but they need at least 4 or 5 others.
I know you can't rely on Jagger Smith's going to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't played a game of football.
No.
It's the first year play. He's done his ACL. You don't want to be relying on that.
Yep.
He would have been my pick for the Rising Star if he played this year.
I agree as well. But the other thing as well, these elite kicks, they don't need to be speedy. They don't need to get a lot of the ball even. They just need to have that role of being a good ball user because that is their glaring issue for mine at the moment.
Yep.
Oh, good call. Collingwood, they get the job done. They're flying on top of the ladder. And as Leo mentioned, there's a few things that need to fix at Princes Park. Of course. Next one, we got Optus Stadium Friday night as well. We had a double header on Friday night. We already spoke about that on the Thursday show. I don't know how we feel about that, but here we go. West Coast, 8 goals, 452. GWS, 16 goals, 15. Smashed them, 111. The Giants, they didn't even need Jesse Hogan. He was, I think he was out with sickness in the end.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Be honest though, when he went out, did anyone go, Eagles are a chance? Because that's what I thought.
Nah.
And okay,
I'm big on the G-Dub train.
You are.
It's a big sound. And they're coming hard. They're coming hard towards the end of the season.
Yes.
Are they? They're an 8.
No, they're playing good football.
They are playing.
Okay.
Yeah, mate. They beat West Coast, but they've had 10 different goal kickers, which was really promising without Jesse Hogan because he kicked 9 goals last time. You're going, where are they getting the other 9 goals from? Well, just everyone stepped up. I thought they were really led by Finn Callahan, the Rolls Royce, they call him over there. 37 touches and a goal. Tom Green was really good as well. He had 35 disposals. And Xavier Halloran, career best game.
St. Bernard's product.
St. Bernard's from the pit.
Your mob.
From the pit. 27 disposals, 2 goals, 9 score involvements. Easily his career best game. They've been saying the Giants boys will be like, he's capable of this. And I just want to see that against some of the better teams. But awesome effort by him to have that type of game. There was a lot of beef in this one, a lot of feeling, weirdly, even though it was like 60 or so points. You had Toby Green at his chaotic best. He was fighting with Harley Reid. Then Tom Green was fighting with Harley Reid. Harley Reid's had more fights than disposals, I reckon, this season because he needs to just calm down. But anyway, you've had Toby Green was awesome at his chaotic best, as I just mentioned. 3 goals, 4, 18 disposals. It was a classic
3 goals, 4.
It's a classic Toby game where he could have just kicked at least 5 or 6, but he's starting fights and it's probably rattled him in front of goal. He's lining up for goal and he's thinking of pulling Harley Reid's long hair or something like that. I don't know.
He was going to run up to and jump a punch after he kicks the goal.
Exactly.
I bet you're thinking about pulling Harley Reid's long hair.
Yeah, Marcus is in a different way maybe, but we've also got the Giants' great speed and ball use off halfback, really highlighted. I think that was the difference. They were just elite, and their elite kicking was really the difference. The pressure from Callahan as well. He started the game. Darcy Jones got a goal in the first 15 seconds because of a Callahan smother, and you're watching that as a Giant fan going, oh, we're on today. We're on. He's just had a massive smother and let it get a goal. And Darcy Jones, lads. Now, everyone's calling him the kid with the lid. He had his own little section. He's from WA, and there was lots of kids and fans in helmets. So I love to see that.
Yeah, is he taller than you? He's got to be, right?
I don't think so. Well, if you put the helmet, maybe. The helmet adds a few more inches. Yeah,
that's what they say, don't they?
I reckon I'd be taller than him. He could bash me.
Nah, he's a fantastic player. He can
Okay.
play- all right. I was just going to talk him up. He's a great player, great agility and speed. He's hard to catch, and I think ISHO Speed found that out, didn't he?
Yes, I forgot about that
That's
one.
like
Love that
one of
from
the
him.
only races he lost.
Absolutely. We got Jimmy, who I mentioned before. He was really solid in defence. He kept Cadman quiet for most of the game, and it's tough. Cadman still got 2 goals, but when the opposition has 21 more inside 50s, it's tough. Cadman still had 2 goals. And great signs for Job Shanahan. I think we were talking him up before, Marcus. 2 goals, 14 disposals, 195 centimetre guy like that. I think pretty impressive.
And you've got to invest in him because if they're losing Oscar Allen, he's got to come in, play alongside Jack Williams and Jake Waterman.
He was very much like an Oscar Allen sort of type.
He
like
is.
Like the presence in the air, and then even
Strong.
like he did a couple of good things on ground level as well, just feeding handballs out to runners going past.
Yeah, we've talked up a different sort of guy for West Coast each week, so that's a positive sign for
They
West
just
Coast.
all got to do it at once.
That is
That's the issue.
that is actually right. The Giants as well, perfect percentage booster. They jumped 3 on the ladder because of that percentage.
Yep.
They really needed that because they were way behind. So that's a really good sign for GWS there, and they get the job done by plenty.
By plenty.
Next one, Saturday at Marvel Stadium, Essendon, Gold Coast. Essendon, 11 goals, 874. Gold Coast, 18 goals, 7, 115. Leo, you two had a bit of a debate on the Thursday show. How did it end up?
Yeah, this is where the start of the period for me where I look like an idiot this show because I was wrong. Marcus, well done. You were unfortunately right. Look, you're an Essendon fan, but you were right. You said Gold Coast to win. Essendon tease throughout the game. They tease me. They're naughty.
They always tease this man.
They
always tease me. They had me on the pants were coming off 3/4 time. It was getting
And then he
funky.
watched the football.
Wait, stop talking about your home antics. Just talk about the footy.
Look, it was the lack of scoring for Essendon that really let them down. They can get territory all right. They won the inside 50s, but the Suns were just way more efficient inside 50. At least for Bombers fans, Zach Merritt is back. How good is him? How good is he? Like just watching him in full flight.
Yep.
40 disposals.
We missed him when he went on holiday for about
When
a
he went
month
on holiday.
there.
Down
Down in the Maldives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Maldives. 12 clearances, and I think he had the most centre bounces for Essendon, which is
As
how
it should be.
Exactly
As it should
right.
be, Brad Scott, if you're listening. What
If
are you
you're
talking?
listening.
Footy's not hard. It's not a hard game to get right.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think the real difference in this game, and I'll shout you out here, Marcus, you talked about it in the previous show, is the goals from midfield. So you talk about, Reid, who I thought played really well, and King, the keys kicking 7 between them. That's obviously really good for the Suns. But you throw in Humphrey, Anderson, and Took Miller combining for 5 goals. It's little things like that Essendon just don't really have at the moment.
Yep.
And it just makes a huge difference. And one player I do want to give a shout out for that has maybe slid under the radar a little bit for the Suns. Joel Jeffrey, JJ,
yes.
the better JJ. Forget Jason Johannesson. What's he got? A Norm Smith? The Suns have got Joel Jeffrey.
Joel Jeffrey to Norm Smith. You heard it first this year.
2026, potentially 32 disposals, 8 rebound 50s, and I love his transition. He's gone from forward pocket to a half back, and I think he's played a really good and important role for them down there. And just to end on this game, Marcus, I do feel a bit bad because Essendon have lost.
Do you? You don't feel bad about it.
I do because Marcus is my friend.
I'm not taking this fake love.
Marcus is my friend, and I don't want to see my friend sad. So I want you to talk about how excited you are about seeing Nate Caddy or Nate Daddy and Archer May just do their thing.
They were great.
How good?
They were great. Caddy was a threat all game, and he makes defenders
Even to the umpires,
nervous.
he was a threat.
Even with the umpires, does he get a suspension for that?
No, I don't think he did. I think he got off.
Get a fine?
I think he got
No,
off.
maybe not. Anyway, so even the AFL is just trying to take us out at the moment. I think, Nate Caddy was holding his spleen a little bit there.
Spleen.
But, no, he's just he's a threat for defenders, and he forces them to make the mistakes. So I think Mac Andrew made a couple of mistakes on him, which gave away goals. But Archer May had that 5-minute spell where he looked like he was on top of the world. Even had Dermot Brereton celebrating in the stands. So
Yeah. Oh, that's the first time he celebrated an Essendon goal. That's for sure.
Yes, that is. They're
hates
technically related. That's why.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, I didn't know if Marcus knew that one.
Did you know that?
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
That's why I brought it up.
There we go. And lads, do we think the Dimmer curse at Marvel it's gone? Like they've won a fair few games there now, or do we
They
think,
did lose to Richmond there though earlier in the season.
They did.
but they've won a couple since.
Maybe
then.
that's the new Dimmer curse. Is they're gonna lose to Richmond.
I feel like the old Gold Coast would have lost this game in that last quarter.
True.
But instead they were workmanlike and they just dominated and they got out of first gear.
Yeah, they do look a lot more classy nowadays. That's very good. Saturday, GMHBA Stadium is the next one up. Geelong versus Richmond. Geelong, 18 goals, 16 to 124. Smashed Richmond, 7 goals, 10, 52. This was a belting, Marcus.
It was, but the Tigers actually started the game fairly okay. They led the inside 50 count at the end of the first quarter. I believe it was 17 to 12. But it was saddened with the news of Sammy Lawler's return. It was such a high and then such a low again because he's re-injured his hamstring.
Yep.
And there were a few other Tigers players who also got knocks as well, but came on throughout the game. But you could tell that they weren't 100%. So
That's
keep
brutal.
an eye on that for Richmond next week. Maybe some more debutants possibly.
Yeah, one thing I will say is Taj Houghton, their draftee last year, has played now 3 games
Yes,
coming back from an ACL. He was meant to go top 3, top 5 before he did his ACL. So I know Lawler injury is sad, but if you're a Tigers fan, you'll see Houghton next week, I reckon.
And obviously we did the interview with Kane McAuliffe.
Yes.
So check that out.
Hopefully he's back soon. I think 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. He's a good midfielder as well. He can get the ball out there. It's on YouTube podcast.
Tuesday.
Apple Podcast, Spotify on Tuesday. So
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
That'll be
Arvo,
releasing.
check that one out. It was a fun interview with Kane.
100%. But it was the Cats who just went out of first gear really in that second quarter and just showed their scoring power. They kicked 10 unanswered goals in that second quarter.
That sounds like it's good.
That sounds like it's good. And one of those.
Analysis in the corner. That sounds like it's good.
And what's even better is one went to debutant George Stevens, who just was
He was so good.
unreal.
Where do they find these kids? Do they just pluck them
Yeah,
out?
like
all
big,
the time.
big 6,000, and they're like, oh, he's going to be a Brownlow medalist. They have so many good
They've
players.
done it again.
He finished with 21 and a goal, and surely he gets a rising star nom, you'd think.
I think he had 14 score involvements too.
That's crazy.
very impressive. Max Holmes was also very good, obviously, with Baslenka out before the game with
Yes.
illness. Max Holmes had 36 and a goal. But we talked about Baz and his Brownlow hopes and chances in the midweek show. But does this, not playing in this game where you thought, against Richmond, look, no offense, but like that's a game where he
could get 3.
He could easily get 3 votes in. And it looks like Nick Dacos will get 3 votes from the Carlton Collingwood game.
Yep.
How badly does it hurt his chances, boys?
Yeah, I think so. It's just like one of those little ones throughout the season where Dacos just gets the edge over Baz, and I think it's going to take a lot for Baz to sort of bring it back because that's like the 3rd time now he's been laid out.
Bailey's, which obviously is his first full season back, so fair enough if he's had a few games out, but he's had 3 or 4, like you said, so I don't think he's going to, unfortunately for him, I think it's Dacos might be running away with it, possibly.
Possibly. I'll give a small shout out to Jack Martin as well because I thought it was his best game in a Cats jersey, and look, Cameron, where else? He kicked his 700th. He kicked 4, but he missed out on a huge bag. He could have had 9. He kicked 4 goals, 5.
Oh, he's doing his best Malcolm impression.
He kicked 4 goals, 5, but he's 10 goals ahead now. Surely he's clinched the Coleman.
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got the Coleman medal. But the one thing I do want to ask you, boys, we did the redraft of the 2023 after Fraser's game last week.
Yep.
In this game, I'm going to bring you something as well.
Okay.
He's the 27th player in AFL history to kick 700 plus goals.
Okay.
And just for a couple of the players around him on this all-time goal kicking list, I want you to say whether you'll pick Cameron or the player I mentioned.
Oh, this is going to be really hard.
Just
Is this
one
going to
word.
be like quick fire?
Quick fire.
All right.
Cameron or Pavlich?
Cameron.
Cameron or Rewalt?
Which
Nick
one?
Rewalt.
Nick. I'll go Nick.
I'll go Cameron.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'll go Cameron. Sorry.
No, it's quick fire.
Josh Kennedy from the Eagles or Cameron?
I'll go Josh Kennedy,
So, I'm going Jezza.
Okay.
Carey Jezza.
Oh, Carey.
Chol. I mean, Carey.
Definitely Carey.
And then we'll finish off with Hudson and Cameron. Peter Hudson heard us.
Peter Hudson.
Oh, I used to love watching him back in the day. Well, he was
You were what, like 5?
yeah, I definitely wasn't around. No, that's a good shout
Little
though.
debate. Let us know in the comments where you rank Jezza.
Because when you're in the moment watching those sort of big forwards or big midfield, whoever it is, it's funny to compare back to today. But he's got 700 goals, so he's got the stats to back it up.
That sounds pretty good too.
What was that?
700 goals.
Yeah, it does sound pretty good.
Not bad.
That's Leo's input this weekend.
In one game, he got 700 goals. What?
Oh, that's unbelievable. All right, next one. Let's get into it. Saturday night at the Gabba. I thought this was a really fun game. Brisbane, 18 goals, 12, 120. Port Adelaide, 14 goals, 8, 92. A great high-scoring game, lads. The difference in this one, you go, oh, it's a pretty close game. Was it 28 points in the end? But it was the last 15 minutes of the first quarter where Brisbane go, yeah, we're just going to absolutely demolish the Power here. So they kicked 7 straight goals to end the first quarter, the Lions, and the rest of the game was all even pretty much. It was the Power actually played really well, but just that last bit of the first quarter, I think you talked about it, Leo, they shot themselves in the foot.
They did shoot themselves in the foot, and at the end of the day, at the Gabba, you just can't afford to be doing that.
You can't afford to be doing that anywhere, let alone at the Gabba.
True.
You've got 12 different goal scorers for the Lions, which is just awesome. They're finding that goal scoring form at the right time, which you love to see as a Lions fan. And in terms of the midfield, we talked this up on the Thursday show, but they were just electric. There was no tags going on whatsoever. You had McCluggage, Neil, Rosie, and Butters all get 29 plus disposals. But the difference in this one, lads, was that Neil and McCluggage for the Lions actually kicked a goal. Whereas when Butters and Rosie are playing at their best, they kick a goal or two themselves. And the difference was that the Lions mids were just hitting the scoreboard as well. So that obviously helped them towards the win. You even got Zac Bailey, which I'm going to throw to my mate on the couch in a second. Zac Bailey finally had his best game of the season. 5 goals, 26 disposals. He literally couldn't have done anything else. He was everywhere. Marcus, he's finally done something this season. And you were talking him up. He might have watched the show and gone, oh, maybe I should do this for Marcus. And he did.
Good job, Zach. Good job. Now do it 2 weeks in a row. I don't want this 5 goals. I don't want this. Something similar.
That is breakout game.
Let's have 20 and 2. 20 and 2. Go on.
Yeah,
22. I want to see.
Against Carlton, they definitely could.
He has the potential to be such a good player, which I just don't think we've seen the best of him so far. So credit to him, he had a great game.
Yeah, he was best on by a mile, I reckon. You got Port's forward line. Now, Leo, you talked about up their future. You got Lukosius coming back in this week. So their forward line looked incredible. Just goals everywhere. You had Georgiades with 4, Lukosius with 3, Rioli with 3, and then Pal Pepper before his injury with 2.
Yeah.
They've actually got some good signs for the new coach coming through for next season.
Yeah, if they can just hold on to Butters, I think, as we know, Bergman's signed, but if they can hold on to Butters, I'm getting convinced with their forward line the more I see it. I think with Georgiades and Lukosius there as your key guys, they're not like crash and bash players, but they're great on the lead. They're great kicks for goal.
Great kicks.
Rioli's clever. You didn't even mention Joe Richards.
Joe Richards.
Yeah. It's I'm believing in it a bit more than I was.
And they play with 2 rucks as well. So typically you get that one tall in that forward line as well.
Which gives them a chop out.
Yeah. Relieves the pressure off Georgiades a little bit, being the number 1 taller guy in the forward
true.
line.
But yeah, they're looking a lot better than we probably thought towards the start of the season. But the sad one was Pal Pepper, who, as I mentioned, he was actually really good, 2 goals, but he went down with a knee injury. The first quarter, they also had Vizentini and Radigalia go down. Obviously, they got Jordan Sweet that can cover in the ruck, but Radigalia and Pal Pepper, probably Radigalia more so because he's been in really good form the last couple of months. Huge out because he's done a hammy.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Just, with his form, as you said, and like structurally, like losing a key defender is always huge.
Yeah. And these injuries, I know it's not, you can't always have an excuse like that first part of the first quarter, they should have done better, but the injuries really didn't help them. If it's only 28 points and you have those 3 guys in, they probably could have won this one.
It was insurmountable.
Yeah. And then the power just to get it back.
Bro talks for a living.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I talk yappa.
Yeah, you absolutely talk yappa. All the brain cells are gone after last night. Power, they matched them in the inside 50s. They had 16 more tackles, more possessions, and only 2 less clearances. Just that blip in the first quarter cost them, and you can't do that against Brisbane. They were just too classy in the end, the Lions. So good on the Lions, and they're charging at the right time of the season, lads.
They are.
They're going all right. Hey, Leo, quick question. Do you know what the ASX means?
Do you mean AFLX?
No, mate. The ASX, the Australian Stock Exchange.
Oh, man, I'm absolutely clueless with that stuff.
Well, lucky for you, Stockhead is a free website that gives you everything you need to know about punting stocks on the ASX.
Damn, that sounds pretty good. Where do I check them out?
Check it out via stockhead.com.au, and it's even easy for your little pea brain to understand.
Damn.
Saturday night at Marvel Stadium is the next one. St Kilda, 10 goals, 14-74. The Hawks, 14 goals, 10-94. Marcus, one guy went absolutely huge in this one.
He did, and it wasn't for Hawthorn, despite them getting over the line. It was Nas Wanganeen Miller. The Hawks, they had no answer for him. Even Sam Mitchell came out and admitted he tried to put a few blokes to him, but he was just too good. It just shows why they need his signature there at the Saints. And 43 disposals, 3 behinds. If he turned those behinds into goals, that would have been huge.
Legacy game.
Absolutely. 200 plus Supercoach.
Yeah, definitely.
Minimum.
And Ross Lyon also talked about how long-term, if he does stay, he sees him being an Andrew McLeod type, which I think is perfect. And I reckon if he stays, Saints fans would be so excited by
Bring back, some chat about Andrew. No, as in I feel like underrated guy
forgotten.
that people don't talk about. Andrew McLeod.
Streets will never forget sort of player.
Yes.
But the Saints, they did a lot right, but they missed some they missed some easy chances, early in that last quarter, which, if they put those away, it gets them back within the contest. And, if momentum's on their side after those goals, then possibly they could have got over the line. But they were too good in the end, the Hawks. But it was a former Box Hill product.
Yeah.
Max Hall, who's putting together some nice games in back-to-back weeks. He's had 27-3 against the Hawks, unreal game of footy, and he had 21 and a goal against Freo the week prior. But again, now we're going to flip the switch and we're going to go former St Kilda player, now Hawk, Josh Battle, 23 disposals, game high, 9 intercept possessions against his former side. Quickly, Leo, was that his best game in a Hawks, Guernsey?
I reckon, it's up there. Him and Barras down back really steadied the ship.
Both of those new recruits had 9 intercept possessions, so they led the lead there. But forward depth, we talked about it in the midweek show of Hawthorn. There's obviously you got Cal Shadir, you've got Mitch Lewis, you've got Luke Bruce as well in there in the twos, kicking goals and playing well. And we talked about, will they force their way in just to bring a bit of competition in the midweek show? Do you rest Gunston possibly in a couple of weeks? Leo, did you keep an eye on the Hawks in the VFL, and how did those boys go?
Oh, you nerd watching the VFL.
I've never been more turned on watching the VFL in my life. What? Cal Shadir, 3 goals, 20 disposals, 5 marks, 6 tackles. He was doing chase downs for fun. Lewis, 3 goals, 17 disposals, 8 marks. that is what you want for a top 8 side. It's great competition for spots. I don't think Deere will play until Gunston needs a rest. That's how I sort of see that competition for spot. And I think once Lewis sort of officially ticks off everything that he needs to from a recovery standpoint, how he pulls up after these VFL games, I think he will come in for Ramsden, which I know we got sub last night, but
he was still solid, wasn't he?
He was solid down the line. So like it is a great problem to have, and I think it's one where you go like, look, if something isn't working in the forward line or how we move the ball, we can look at these options immediately to fix it.
And the Box Hill Hawks are doing incredibly well in the VFL as well. They're
Top of the ladder.
Yep. So don't fix what ain't broke. So
exactly.
Absolutely. Is that the saying? Let's do it.
And as we said on the Thursday show, it's a great spot for the Hawks to be in. They got the job done. Obviously, it was pretty close, and you were very worried last night.
I'm always worried.
You're always worried. You tipped the Saints. I heard you changed your tip.
A lot of things happened yesterday that were regretful.
We don't talk about that. All right. Should we just get into the next game?
Let's go into the next game.
Sunday at the SCG. I think this was the game of the round. Sydney Freo. Sydney 14 goals, 10, 94. Fremantle 12 goals, 11, 83. Now, lads, before we get into it, it was a battle of the weird and wild animals in terms of some nicknames. You had two unicorns going head-to-head in the ruck. You got Jackson versus Grundy. You had a lizard scurrying down up the middle of the guts. And you had a prancing pony who didn't do that much. He got one goal and then he had to get subbed off. So a few weird nicknames.
A few weird ones. That's a nice little quirky stat.
Yeah.
That's a stat.
Fact.
If you had to say we were animals, what animals would we be?
Oh, I reckon Leo with the beard at the moment's a grizzly bear.
Okay.
And I reckon
Is that a good thing?
I reckon Marcus with the mustache at the moment is a meerkat.
Oh,
there we go.
meerkat. Yeah. Okay. I reckon you're a bit of a worm.
Your nose, he's like a Jack Russell Terrier.
You did not just do that. This is going out on the internet, by the way.
Yeah, you've done a lot worse than that.
That's a digital footprint.
Check out the socials for Marcus in the yoga outfit as well.
What's worse than that? It was hot.
Was it?
It was hot in that room, I'll tell you that.
Don't know about that one. Anyway, let's get into the game. I thought this was amazing tactics from the Swans. Every single team in the AFL should tag the opposition's best player. I don't care what you say. I think they should. That's just my
opinion. Should they?
Yep, because if you're tagging Sarong, if you're tagging Clark, you can win a game of footy against Freo. So you got Jordan kept Sarong to 11 disposals. That's his lowest since 2020. You had Braden Campbell went to Jordan Clark. Obviously, he's known for his run, intercept marks. He gets a lot of the ball. He only had 13 disposals and 2 marks. I just thought that was a tactical masterclass from Sydney. And is Jordan the best tagger in the competition?
I think right now he's been the most successful. Actually, Windhager, I think, is up there. Even though he didn't do the job on Dacos. But I think, and to further your point on being a tactical masterclass, we've got to give credit to Dean Cox. I reckon that's probably the best game he's coached.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
I think it is helping as well that they've got their players back. They've got their mojo back a bit. You had Chad and Errol just combining. They were absolutely beautiful. Just combining for 49 disposals, 13 score involvements. They had a hand in almost everything, especially even late when Freo were coming back. Errol was having some elite kicks. You had Chad just setting up goals. So that was really, really good to watch. And I just really loved seeing, for Swans fans will be loving this, Amadi and McLean kicking accurately. Yeah. That's what you want to see as a Swans fan. 5 goals won, some big marks. We know they can take the big marks. We know they can use their body. They can take those big pack marks. But they've been known for missing some goals.
Yeah, Amadi, especially recently.
Exactly. Amadi 0-6 the other week. So, yeah.
It was almost a carbon copy of the game, the previous meeting earlier in the season, where that was Sydney just got over the line at Optus, and Amadi and McLean on that day were brilliant. I think Amadi kicked the winning goal on that one.
Yeah, so the Swans were awesome. If you want to hear more about the Sydney and the action and chat about Sydney, True Bloods is the podcast for you, because we do this in this studio as well. Yep. So you can check out some more Sydney chat on the True Bloods podcast. On the other side, now, Leo, you talked up the ruck battle on the Thursday night. You were covering this game on Thursday. How did it end up between the legendary rucks there?
Well, I'm giving the points to a unicorn, Grundy. I thought he was superb. 20 disposals, 12 clearances, and he was copping a double team, which from my experience is pretty tough.
Well, hopefully on the footy field.
Hopefully on the footy field. Look, Jackson did kick 2 goals. Darcy freed him up, but I think when you 12 clearances from a ruckman and your side wins the clearance battle, I think it's got to go to Grundy. And I think he's making a case for all Australian. I don't think he'll get it because there's a lot of talented other rucks out there.
It's the year of the rucks. It's what I've been telling you.
Every year is the year of the rucks. They always exist. They always play well. Oh my God. Give more love to you're underselling ruckmen by saying that.
You know what? I hope you do get double teamed.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully not by you. You're a tall boy. I don't want to get double teamed by you in the ruck.
Anyway, in terms of the rucks, can I go back to that on that, Leo? Jackson and Darcy, have they shown the last couple of weeks that it is possible and maybe it is worth it because Jackson's kicked a couple more goals lately.
Oh, see, I want to say yes, but then you play 3 key forwards and then you get Voss subbed out. And it's like...
Yeah, true.
Is it? I don't know. They've still got to tinker with that to get it right for mine.
No, good call.
I think
good
so.
call. And then Sarong only getting 11 disposals. I thought O'Driscoll stepped up pretty well. He set up a fair few of their goals. And him in the midfield has been going okay. I think he needs to probably step up a little bit more consistently, but he was really good.
Glad he got the nod in the midfield.
Yes, the nod in the midfield.
Nathan O'Driscoll.
Yes.
Yes,
I got that one.
The best player at home.
Absolutely. As did Murphy Reid. I thought he was awesome. 1 goal, 15 disposals. I think he's been one of their most consistent players, and he never does anything wrong. He's just so classy, so calm, and I just really love how he goes about it. And that's why he should be getting more plaudits for the
Smoky for the Roses.
I don't think he's a
Right.
smoky. Isn't he like the second favourite?
Yeah, third.
Yeah, but always Levi Ashcroft is very heavy favourite.
Yeah.
Connor O'Sullivan.
Yep. Bashai Bolton for Freo as well. He started really slow. Had 0 touches in the first quarter, but 14 touches of his 17 in the second half. He was just attacking every contest. He was going a lot harder at the ball, which I really like to see. But it was the last 12 minutes. Freo really could have won this game. I know I was talking up Sydney before. The last 12 minutes, they had 3 straight behinds. Looked really tired. You had Frederick running into a goal and he just sprayed it out on the full. So they've had about 4 or 5 shots on goal in the last 12 minutes and sprayed them. So they could have won.
But I don't think they deserve to win.
They didn't deserve to win. I think the tactics of the Swans and the way they played was really good at the SCG, so they deserved the win there. We're going Sunday, Arvo. Next one here,
Yes, we
Adelaide
are.
Oval. Adelaide, Melbourne. Adelaide, 13 goals, 12.90. Melbourne, 11 goals, 11.77. Leo, this was a really fun game.
Yeah, it was weirdly fun. The D's blitzed the Crows early in that second. You had Pickett and Van Roy, and they got a couple each. And you thought, hang on, D's are up by 27 here. We could have an upset on our cards, but great sign of maturity by the Crom at home to work back into the game, and then get the lead. And it was led by one man, Zac Bailey. He's a superstar. 5 goals, and he just doesn't do anything wrong. Just a quick one, lads. He's got to be your All-Australian half forward. Starting on the field.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
just his impact to his team is paramount.
He can play just midfield forward. You can do him wherever you want.
Deep forward, you could do whatever you want with him. That's a quote from Stats Guy. The D's weren't falling over though. Cozzy was really good, 24 and 2. He is probably challenging Rankine for that similar spot in an All-Australian team. And I want to call you out, Stats Guy. Look, I look like an idiot this episode and whatever. That's fine. I'm an idiot. You said Stephen May on the Thursday show. He's been struggling, and I reckon he'd listen to that. And
He does listen to the show.
He said, "Stuff you, Stats man. If I see you at Entrecot, you better watch out."
I don't go to Entrecot. It's all good.
Too expensive for you,
Exactly.
I bet. But he had 23 touches and 12 marks. So he was good down back, I thought. I think Tex kicked a couple on him, but still, I thought it was a good performance.
Still want a bit more consistency from Steve.
Yes, he's got to build that up. For his
He's had one
Full
week.
first name.
Yeah, he's had one good week. Let's
for
calm it down a bit.
For his caliber of play, I agree.
Yep.
I agree. But there is one demon that this man has been loving, isn't he? Stats Guy loves this guy.
Jake
He
the
does.
Snake, the milkshake Melksham has been absolutely awesome. He had another 4 goals. Is he the best player in the comp? He kicked 5 goals, 6 last
5
week.
goals, 6.
I don't care. There's not many players that can do that. He's kicked 4 goals. He's at his most goals in a season now since 2018. His most in a season is 32. He's going to could kick 100 at the rate he's gone. 5 goals, 4 goals.
100.
Oh, he could kick 10 goals.
Get
next
him
week.
at North.
No.
He could be good for North.
I would love him at North.
You'd love him.
I would get a jersey of him on the back.
You've got a man crush.
He's so good. He was kicking it from the boundary. He needs to find that consistency because I think even at the Bombers, he was a bit up and down. He looks like the best player and then he doesn't. But I've just been really impressed with him the last couple of weeks. And he's a bit of a chaotic man. He loves the celebration, so good on him.
But what I will say, every time the D's fought back, the Crows just held them off. And I reckon Mark Keane had a massive impact in that. So he has 17 touches, 12 intercept possessions, which is huge from the Irishman down back. Sometimes he might get caught holding the ball. He might have a moment where you're going, oh, Mark, what's going on? Reminds me of Harris Andrews a little bit. It's a little bit dopey, but a very, very good player, I reckon.
But yeah.
Obviously, Andrews has got the runs on the board. I'm not saying he's like on that level.
Or Mason Cox throw territory.
Mason, oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
That unlocked a memory. I haven't thought of in a while. There was an intriguing moment late, though, and I think it's a little bit funny. Key slings through a goal.
Yes.
The soft callers are behind. It gets overturned, and they play back the vision. And it looks like McVie may have touched it. It doesn't change the results. And look, I think it's actually good that Adelaide are on the positive end of a controversial call. They deserve it.
I reckon they've had 8 straight controversial calls go the wrong way.
Yep.
But you said it didn't affect the game. It was only 13 points, and if they didn't get that goal, Melbourne could have won. So it was a little bit unlucky.
I
but
think they went up the other end and kicked a goal, didn't they? Didn't Tex kick a goal? They went up the other end. They went end to end.
Well, there was a goal in the first.
Keys got the goal.
Keys got the goal.
Yeah,
but
And
then
they got another one.
they got another one.
Yeah. But that was a little bit stiff.
I don't think it changed the result.
Fair enough. No, that's a fair call. So Adelaide, good win. Really good win because Melbourne, they put up a really good fight there. And that is the round 17 results. Let's get into the ladder check next. The Crom, they hold on to third. They got a big win, as Leo just mentioned. One of the biggest overachievers this season, would you guys say?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not a negative thing at all.
I didn't have Adelaide in my top 4.
I reckon you had them bottom 4.
I wouldn't say I had them bottom 4, but they probably. I don't think they were in my 8.
There is a ladder prediction video out on our socials that I might dig up just to see where you wanted them, mate.
I do not want any part of that video to be resurfaced, probably. But Freo's lost. They're outside the 8, lads. Freo are outside the 8. They've got a huge game against the Hawks last week that Leo will be very excited for. Got a big gap between the top 9 and the bottom 9. We've talked about this the last couple of weeks, but it just keeps increasing. You've got, is it 3 games by now?
Yeah, 3 games.
3 games, 12 points is really tough for the bottom 9 to do anything there, including Sydney. I don't know if there's a few people online saying, are they still a chance for finals? What do we think?
Big no for me. I think if they win, let's say they win every game on the run home, that gets them to 14 wins. We've done ladder predictors around the office where 14 wins isn't guaranteed.
That's wild.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
So I'm saying no.
And they need a handy percentage booster here and there.
Yes, they do.
Nah, fair call. So that's the ladder check. Let's get into the tipping results. Leo, all I can see on the run sheet here, doesn't want to talk about it.
I'm checking out for this episode by the looks of things until best on ground.
No. The tipping results. So Marcus and myself both got 9. Didn't get one wrong.
It's what we do.
2
weeks in a row.
It's what we do. Leo's trying to find tips from nowhere and he's got 7, I believe.
Yeah, I got 7 and in my personal one I changed to St Kilda.
That's so bad. Even
You
against
go
your
for
own
Hawks.
side.
No, there was some logic behind it, but it was no.
Was alcohol a factor?
No comment, mate.
No comment. No, just we don't talk about that. Lock results. Again, Leo does not want to talk about it. Leo, what are you doing this week?
I got bevoed.
So you had Bailey Dale, obviously, usually plays half back.
Yeah.
It actually was a good move.
It was a good move.
Play him forward, but it cost your 20 plus for Bailey Dale.
And I would like Bevo to keep that in mind.
That's 2 in a row, by the way. We might be on a hat trick of lock failures from Leo, the prodigy himself.
Just putting it out there.
So how many you've lost 1 lock or no locks?
No, I've lost a lock.
I've lost 2, I think.
So we're both on 2?
Yeah.
Or mine 3?
We'll have to find out at the end of this.
We'll dig it up. And just a reminder that whoever gets the most locks wrong will be doing a forfeit. Oh, I say whoever. It's going to be me or Stats Guy, let's be honest here.
What do you mean? I reckon he's going to have a horror end to the season. Your lock, Sam Darcy 2 plus that. Easy.
Absolutely. Well, it wasn't easy up until that last quarter because you did mention he was only on 1, but he kicked away in the end, finished with 4.
He did well, and I did Collingwood win. I
was
might
a
just
great
go
lock.
against
Carlton.
whoever Carlton's playing.
Brisbane and Marvel
My
this week.
lock is Brisbane. I'm already putting it out there.
That's hard.
That's a lot.
Do it.
Big call results. I'll start with mine because I was a bit filthy with this one. Ben Long had his worst game of the year because I said he's going to have a big game. First game this season without a goal. I needed you to kick 4, mate. And his first game, he got subbed out and he was filthy. Not good.
And Ethan Reid steps up and kicks 3. It's always the way it goes. Look, I had Riley West for 4 goals. I don't think the bloke even played. Where was he?
I didn't see it. Usually you can see his big head.
Yeah.
And Marcus.
And I so close again. I missed out by 1 goal.
Get good.
Missed out by 1 goal. I had Norton and Darcy to combine for 10 and they finished with 9 goals for.
Oh, you've actually been so close on big call. He's been a lot better than us at big calls. Right?
Yeah, but he's a flop.
I've been taking it seriously this week. Whoa. That's a weird way to say gospel.
It's a weird way to say I love you.
We'll talk about this after the show. All right, best on ground of the week. Leo, this is your segment. You've been pretty good at this, unlike some of his segments, but what's yours?
Yeah, no, look, it was another tough week. 1 vote to NWM, Nasai Wanganeen Miller, 43 disposals. Just did not stop running all game, did it at half back and on ball. And when the Saints, every time they sort of threatened to come back, he was the guy leading that. So he gets 1 vote. 2 votes. Z Bailey, 26 disposals, 5 goals. His finishing on the run was really classy and just good to watch. It was good football. Couple of nice
How's
goals.
he not got best on? Oh.
Because this man, Al Ibba, 27 disposals.
Libba.
2 goals, numerous clearances, tackles, and score involvements. Highest rated game he's ever played. For mine, I went to the game. I watched it in the flesh. He was fantastic. And to kick 2 goals, playing his role in such an important game for himself, I think he deserves it. And look, it's probably harsh statistically, but
It's us to Zac Bailey, but I don't mind it. He also gave a drive-by to Sheasel. I don't know if you saw that on the
Yes, I
mic.
saw that.
He said, how's your organic diet going? As Sheasel's lined up for goal and he missed.
that's good chat. I want more of that.
And Sheasel commented back online with a laugh. So it's a good.
What did
good-
Sheasel say?
He just had a laugh reactor. Yeah.
Bit boring, cheese.
Oh yeah, well he has an organic diet. He's pretty boring. It's pretty boring.
He's got like a resting heart rate of 31, I think.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's playing a 50.
I don't mind that. I like your reasoning on best on grade of the week. So now we've got a good segment there. Let's see how
Let's
we
go
go
to
with
the
this
bag
one.
segment.
Let's go to full credit, best team of the round with Marcus. And I'm looking at the run sheet. He hasn't given anything away this
I
week.
like this.
So I'm nervous.
So you've asked me to keep it to myself.
Has Richmond got a vote?
You'll just have to wait and see.
Until right now, because they're about
You
to
just have to wait and see. One vote, a tomato sauce in the run sheet goes to the Sea Magpies.
Okay.
Because they're the pies. Tomato
Okay.
sauce. There's my hinting there.
Wait, they played Carlton though.
Oh no, it was a. They didn't have to get out of first gear though. That's the thing. They had players like Titch come back and
did well.
Dacos furthering his claim for the Brownlow medal. So I think it was just an all round good night against the rivals. They'll get it done. 2 votes.
Yep.
Mose. Swan backwards. Sydney Swans. S Swans.
What? Wait.
2 votes.
What the hell was
For
that?
beating the Fremantle Dockers.
Only 2.
Yeah, we'll give them the 2 votes. Like they said, Fremantle had the chances to win. Fremantle were in good form, but we did say Fremantle, they won 5, 6 straight, but they weren't all that convincing
Swans
except for the
fan-
GBS game.
Swans fans get into him in the comments, I reckon.
Really? Well,
Who's got the 3?
3 votes goes to the Snail. B Lions, 3 votes. Port Adelaide were playing some very, very good football.
It's not
and
okay.
They had some good performances out there. And look, we did say it was a danger game. And if the Lions do want to make the top 4, they got a hard fixture. We did mention that they got the hardest fixture to end the season. So they got to win games like this, and they did it.
I don't know about that one.
I've never seen Leo more like annoyed.
I think I'd go Sydney 3, and I'd honestly.
You put Libba for 3 votes over
That's
a bloke who got
true.
26 and 5.
Libba is God. And where's Adelaide? I'd have Adelaide second, the way they came back.
Are those dim sims still in your?
Oh, they were
They're
good
still in your
dimmies.
system?
There we go. He's got him back on side with the team.
And Brisbane 1 vote, Adelaide 2 for mine.
Oh, that's not. It's not your segment.
Really?
Though. It's not Leo's segment.
Really?
That's all right.
Shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, that will do us for the AFL Today Show. I'm calling it, lads. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube and follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content all season long. Subscribe, star, and like all of our shows on your podcast apps. That's Cricket Today, AFLW Today, Hold All Tickets, True Bloods, Honest Beers, and Footy Form Guide. Thank you very much to the GOAT producer behind the camera, Gerald. He's back. And thank you very much to the boys on the couch. Thanks, Leo. Oh, he doesn't want to say
Told me
anything.
to shut up.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And we've also got Marcus. Thank you very much.
Can't wait to hear Leo's gibberish next week.
Yeah, that'll be great. We'll catch you on Wednesday for the next show. We'll catch you then on AFL Today.